Now, Qantas has struck a $120 million settlement with the ACCC over allegations the airline sold thousands of tickets on so-called ghost flights that had already been cancelled. Joining me now is our business reporter, Edward Boyd. Ed, Qantas will remediate more than 86,000 customers and will pay a penalty of $100 million.
Yes, civil penalty of $100 million and quite a large-scale remediation plan to almost 87,000 Qantas customers that were potentially affected by what happened over the course of almost 2 years. In fact, in the statement today from the ACCC, they say some of these ghost flight customers are still being affected as of the 10th of May 2024, which is still in a few days from now. So the number of flights seems to have actually increased. But let's quickly show you the settlement deal that Qantas struck. You can see here there's almost 87,000 impacted customers. There's going to be remediation. Everyone that was on a domestic or trans-Tasman flight will get $225. International flights, you're going to get $450 if you're on one of these affected flights. That's going to estimate at a cost about $20 million. And then you've got this $100 million civil penalty as well. But if you think back to these allegations when they first occurred late last year, it was basically all around customers buying a ticket to a flight which may have already been cancelled but not being notified that they'd bought a ticket to a cancelled flight, and then closer to the date of departure being told, oh, your flight's actually cancelled, then needing to rebook, potentially paying higher rates because it's closer to departure date. So that was the allegation. It's obviously been tested in the federal court. Qantas have decided to settle and not actually go all the way through with a court case in the federal court. But this civil penalty will need to be certified by the federal court, but it's pretty clear from the statements today that the ACCC and Qantas have both agreed on these terms. So pretty significant update this morning, Laura, from the aviation sector.
OK, the ACCC is hoping this penalty will send a strong deterrence message. It will certainly be a deterrence for Qantas, I would say. We're going to hear from the ACCC at about 10 o'clock.
Yeah, and if you go back to last year, the ACCC were actually seeking a penalty of around $250 million. They were seeking the largest penalty ever. Obviously, the number is considerably lower at $120 million. But look, I got a little statement from Vanessa Hudson, the head of Qantas. I was meant to use it the previous question. This is Gina Cascott-Leib here, the head of the ACCC. She says, we're pleased to have secured these admissions by Qantas that it misled its customers, and it's agreement that a very significant penalty is required. Basically, she says the size of this proposed penalty is an important milestone in enforcing the Australian consumer law. And look, there was actually a quote earlier from Vanessa Hudson, the head of Qantas. She talked about when flying resumed after the COVID shutdown, we recognised Qantas let down customers and fell short of our own standards. We thank the ACCC for their cooperation in reaching this outcome, which means we can compensate affected customers much sooner than if the case had continued in the federal court. So that's the latest here from both Qantas and the ACCC. OK, some big news in business this morning as well. Stephen Rue,
there's a few stories going on. Has been appointed the Optus CEO, and the headline here says, under new governance model. What does that mean?
Yeah, so look, this is an interesting one because he's actually, if you go on the NBN Co's website, he's still officially the Chief Executive of the NBN Co right now. Remember, just last year, he was paid almost $3 million, one of the most highest paid Australian government basic workers here. But he's been now poached by the head of Optus, the chairman, Paul Sullivan, to run Optus, and he's not going to start until November. So there's obviously a bit of a gardening leave period before he begins his new job. But he's clearly taking over a company that, remember, Kelly Bayer Rosmarin was the Chief Executive of Optus. And then there was a couple of cyber breaches, which basically caused her to leave. And since then, the company's been run by its chief financial officer. I think his name's Michael Vander or something along those lines. But we've now got Stephen Rue coming in. He's been recruited. He's not starting for at least 6 months or so, I'd say. But this is a big appointment for the company, which really needs strong leadership. And Stephen Rue's still the head of NBN Co, so I imagine his resignation will be on the desk of the chair of the NBN this morning. But it's a significant shake-up here, Laura.
It certainly is. Ed, comprehensive from you. Thank you.